Hello and welcome to Exposed News Outlet, where we shed light on topics that matter most. I'm your host, Andrea. Today, we're discussing the execution of a VA ICU nurse named Alex Pretti, executed overkill by ICE Gestapo agents in Minneapolis, Minnesota, off 26th and Nicollet, in front of the donut shop. ICE executes VA nurse Alex Pretti in Minneapolis, smear campaign exposed. But before we do, if I could just ask if you could please subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Go ahead and like the video and share it on your platforms to get the message out to the masses. Facts matter, and right now there's a lot of propaganda and disinformation, even coming from the Trump administration itself and DHS. So facts matter. Now let's get to the news. What you are about to hear is not speculation, it is not propaganda, and it is not rumor. This is a documented pattern of federal violence, political gaslighting, and narrative manipulation. Right now in Minneapolis, Minnesota, Minnesotans have endured tragedy after tragedy, slain lawmakers, a church mass shooting, the killing of Renee Nicole Good, and now the killing of Alex Pretti, a 37-year-old ICU nurse at a VA hospital who spent his life caring for American veterans. What happened to Alex Pretti is not an isolated incident. It is part of something far more dangerous. Minneapolis under siege. Minneapolis is a medium-sized city, not a war zone. Yet federal immigration agents have flooded neighborhoods wearing military tactical gear, deploying chemical agents, rubber bullets, and violent takedowns against civilians and American citizens. This is not normal. This is not normal immigration enforcement. Nothing about it is normal. Citizens filming agents exercising their constitutional rights are being targeted, harassed, and intimidated. Cruelty is not a side effect here. Cruelty is the policy. The killing of Alex Pretti. Watch this clip.
With all the misinformation going on right now about ICE murdering 37-year-old Minneapolis resident Alex Pretti, I just want to set a couple of things straight. And just like the shooting of Renee Good a couple of weeks ago, the Department of Homeland Security decided to lie about the circumstances of this shooting from the very beginning. Here they say an individual approached U.S. Border Patrol officers with a 9mm semi-automatic handgun, seen here, and they do show this gun right here. But as I showed in this opening still, this is cell phone footage of Alex Pretti being approached by an ICE agent, and you can see he's only holding a cell phone in one hand and has an empty hand here. And this is the beginning of that unedited cell phone footage where you can see Alex standing his ground and the ICE officer also standing his ground. But as this guy approaches, you're going to see they are the ones who are the aggressors and push Alex back as he's only holding a cell phone. He does not have a gun in his hand, only a cell phone, and they are the ones taking that interaction to him. But the obvious question is, did Alex have a gun on him? And the answer is yes, but he did have a legal right to carry it. As this news story states, family members said Pretti owned a handgun and had a permit to carry a concealed handgun in Minnesota. But even though the video shows that Alex probably never even had his hand on his gun, that didn't stop the DHS from saying this looks like a situation where an individual wanted to do maximum damage and massacre law enforcement. And as further evidence that Pretti was not there to commit violence against ICE agents, I offer this up. These are two protesters that Pretti is actually trying to protect. He's actually trying to protect them from them. He gets bear sprayed. He turns his back to the agents to try to protect these women, and they end up grabbing him and taking him to the ground. Now, this is where they're being violent towards him, not him being violent towards them. And as further evidence that Alex was not there to commit violence on ICE agents, I submit these two clips that I've synced up together here. And if you look down here on the bottom, this person in the brown coat, that is Alex there. And if you watch, as this ICE agent's foot clears, you can see that Alex has two hands visible, not near a gun. Now, this is just 8 seconds before he shot. So let me go ahead and play this forward. And if you didn't see it before, I want you to keep your eye on this ICE agent right here. He's also the guy right up here. As he leans in over Alex's body, you can see his hand here is empty. I'm going to roll it forward just for a bit, and you can see all of his fingers going down. There is nothing in his hand. Now continue watching him as we reel through this, and you'll see as he pulls out his right hand and turns, you will see that he has Alex's gun in his hand down here. And if we roll that forward, that gun is several feet away when the first shot rings out. Coming forward here, you can see the gun in his hand. We'll reel it back a little bit, and that is where the first shot rings out. And if you'll notice, that gun has a bulge on top of it. Now I'm going to show you the photo that the DHS posted on Twitter. And as you see here, here is the photo of Alex's gun that the DHS thankfully posted on Twitter. Now you can see this is a clip. This isn't part of the gun. This is the gun here, but it does have this bulge up top here that is actually a red dot sight that is an add-on and makes Alex's gun distinctive. And again, if we go back to this footage, you can see that right hand coming out with that gun, and it does have that bulge on top of it. So this guy pulled Alex's gun off of his body. Somebody probably yelled, "He has a gun," and then the feeding frenzy of untrained ICE officers rained down with bullets on him. And as further evidence of Alex not even having the weapon at the time he was unalived, I'm going to play you this footage of Alex's body on the ground and these ICE agents asking, "Where's the gun? Where's the gun?" Somebody goes, "You've got the gun," and the guy who took it away says, "I've got the gun." I'm going to play that here. And video evidence like this is exactly why ICE agents do not want American citizens being able to film their actions, because they want to be able to do whatever illegal actions they do and put out phony press releases like this and not have the evidence against them to prove them wrong.
Now, if that is not a cold-blooded murder and also a demonstration of sheer incompetence by supposed federal law enforcement, I don't know what is. There should be not just a major lawsuit by the Pretti family against DHS, against Pam Bondi, and against Kristi Noem maybe personally for defamation and for wrongful death and violation of Alex Pretti's civil rights. But those federal officers, federal agents, whatever they are, should be prosecuted by the state of Minnesota. That was a George Floyd style, straight up murder.
Alex Pretti was standing by the roadside filming federal agents with his phone. Video shows agents spraying chemical agents into a woman's face, shoving her to the ground. Alex did what nurses are trained to do, what decent humans do. He tried to help. That's when multiple agents rushed him. He was beaten, jumped, sprayed with bear spray, and then he was shot multiple times in the back and
Stop talking. They have just shot a man.
They shot that guy.
I know.
Oh
they have shot a man. They have shot a legal observer. Call 911. Call 911.
They just shot somebody.
Call 911.
I'm calling 911.
Come here. I know. We keep each other safe, so okay. Let's keep some space in them. Keep some space. You need to sit down. Sit down. I'm gonna go. Okay. Stay safe. Caleb, get back.
I'm calling 911.
Okay.
Some of our viewers, the video shows a bunch of federal agents actually having an altercation with the individual on the ground. You can see one of the agents come in, they are punching the man, and then all of a sudden you hear gunshots. We're not exactly sure where those gunshots came from, but the crowd erupts after that happens. And like you see, once again, there's an altercation between that individual on the ground near 27th and Nicollet. Several officers on top of this individual. They are punching on him, and then you hear shooting and profanity. That is a video that is circulating on social media. It's been given to us, and we are sharing it with you as we learn more about what is exactly happening there and what happened at 27th and Nicollet. We're told that at 11:30 there will be a briefing by Mayor Jacob Fry as well as Police Chief Brian O'Hara. Since Operation Metro Surge began, they have been asking protesters and crowds to remain peaceful, and they will continue to do that again at 11:30 to briefing and talk more about this federal agent allegedly shooting an individual, and that individual, as we have learned, has died from his injuries. We do have several reporters on the ground. Adam Duxer is on the north side of where the incident unfolded, and Frankie McLister is on the south side of where this incident unfolded. We did hear from DHS, who wrote into CBS News and showed pictures saying that the individual who was shot and is now dead had a gun and 2 magazines on his person. They are also tweeting pictures of that to show that he did have a gun and 2 magazines. We did just show you this video that was given to us here at WCCO showing those agents on top of that individual. Punches are being thrown by federal agents, and then the sound of gunshots. The crowd erupts with a lot of profanities, but as you see right there on your screen, several agents, more than 4 or 5, are on this individual. One agent comes in swinging, and next thing they know, they kind of disperse and we hear gunshots. That is video that is circulating on social media right now about what happened at 27th and Nicollet right before shots rang out, and now the individual who was shot, we are learning, is deceased.
In front of the donut shop, in broad daylight, there was at least 10 shots that rang out at this public execution. At the moment force began, Alex Pretti was holding a phone, not attacking anyone. He was an ICU nurse. He was a caregiver. He was an American citizen, only 37 years old. The smear campaign. Watch this clip.
An individual approached U.S. Border Patrol officers with a 9mm semi-automatic handgun. The officers attempted to disarm this individual, but the armed suspect reacted violently. Fearing for his life and for the lives of his fellow officers around him, an agent fired defensive shots. Medics were on the scene immediately and attempted to deliver medical aid to the subject, but he was pronounced dead at the scene. The suspect also had 2 magazines with ammunition in them that held dozens of rounds. He also had no ID. This looks like a situation where an individual arrived at this scene to inflict maximum damage on individuals and to kill law enforcement. About hundreds of protesters then showed up at the scene. They began to obstruct and to assault law enforcement officers. We saw objects being thrown at them, including ice and other objects, and a rampant assault began, and even an HSI officer agent's finger was bitten off. Crowd control measures were deployed to bring safety to the public and to law enforcement at the scene. And once again, I want to remind everybody that this situation and this tragedy did not have to happen. Our law enforcement are doing everything that they can to protect the public. We're praying for this deceased loved one's family and friends, but we also recognize that the Minnesota governor and the Minneapolis mayor need to take a long, hard look in the mirror. They need to evaluate their rhetoric, their conversations, and their encouragement of such violence against our citizens and our law enforcement officers. I'll remind you that Governor Walz today in his press conference said that our officers were not even law enforcement, which is a lie. He's called them the Gestapo. He's encouraged residents and citizens and violent rioters to resist. He's doxed their identities, putting themselves and their families' lives in jeopardy. He's refused to turn over murderers to federal law enforcement officers. He's protected illegal criminals and protected them from being brought to justice, and even overseen a historic, unprecedented theft of American taxpayer dollars. Tens of billions of dollars were stolen under his watch, and he allowed it to happen, and in some instances may have even facilitated it. In other cities and states across the country, we don't see this happen. Local, state, and officials work with us to make sure that we're making their streets safer. I'll point to the city of Memphis, which is where there is a Democrat mayor in place. He worked with us and our federal law enforcement officers, and we saw murder rates drop by 50% because of that partnership.
For everyone involved. Let me just get your initial thoughts of what's happened here in Minneapolis in the last couple of hours.
Well, why this has happened in Minneapolis is because you have a mayor, you have a governor who has declared Minneapolis a sanctuary city, saying, bring your worst of the worst to Minneapolis. You're invited here. We will protect you. Aisha, these are the arrests. These are just the arrests that ICE has been making. And that's why Donald Trump has ICE in Minneapolis to protect the citizens. Sodomy of a boy, strong arm robbery. Sexual assault, sodomy of a girl under the age of 16. Rape, 12-year-old girl. Strong arm, rape, ag assault. Convicted rape, child fondling. These are all the illegals that Joe Biden was letting into our country. And they were all going to Minneapolis because the mayor, the governor, the AG, they were protecting them. And Donald Trump is going to protect the citizens of our country. I was there all week, as you saw. I was in Minneapolis, and we are going to protect our churches. We are going to protect our great men and women in law enforcement who were out there doing their jobs today. They were out there arresting a violent offender, and then this guy comes up. I can't talk about more of the details. Chief Bovino talked about that. It's now all pending, but we will support the men and women in law enforcement, and we will support the good citizens of Minnesota if the governor and that mayor aren't going to do it.
Within hours before any independent investigation, Pam Bondi, Kristi Noem, Stephen Miller, Donald Trump, and other officials launched a coordinated smear campaign. Bovino and Noem actually recited the same speech verbatim.
Individual approached U.S. Border Patrol officers with a 9mm semi-automatic
handgun.
The officers attempted to disarm this individual, but the armed suspect reacted violently. Fearing for his life and for the lives of his fellow officers around him, an agent fired defensive shots. Medics were on the scene immediately and attempted to deliver medical aid to the subject, but he was pronounced dead at the scene. The suspect also had 2 magazines with ammunition in them that held dozens of rounds. He also had no ID. This looks like a situation where an individual arrived at the scene to inflict maximum damage on individuals and to kill law enforcement.
They used the same word over and over again, terrorist. They convicted Alex Pretti in the media before the facts were even known, before his family was even contacted. And then, in a stunning contradiction, federal officials admitted the situation was evolving, under investigation, and rapidly changing. Yet they had already given their narrative that they wanted to push. You cannot accuse a dead man of terrorism and then claim that you don't know what happened. That is not law enforcement. That, my friends, is propaganda. The videos they can't erase. Watch this clip.
Go. honestly. What did you just do? What the did you just do? What the what the oh my god! 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 The did you just do? The did you just do? He is with somebody call the ambulance! Somebody call the ambulance! Somebody needs to call the ambulance! Somebody call 911! I can't believe they just did that! Holy sh! Holy just get come on! Come on! Oh my god, you people, man! You're killing us! Why would you do that? Oh my god! Oh my god! I can't believe I'm seeing this! I can't believe I'm seeing this! Oh my god! Come on! Come on! Come on! Come here! Come on! Come here! It is.
Again, very hard to watch. This is brand new video just coming into us of the shooting that happened this morning at 9:05 at the corner of 26th and Nicollet when this happened.
They're tackling somebody in the street.
You're gonna have to kill me! I have done nothing at all! My name is Matthew James! Obadiah Allen! I'm a United States citizen!
They are throwing tear gas.
Yep. Now they're firing tear gas canisters into the crowd. Some of the agents are rushing forward.
Will kill me if you let this happen! They will kill me if you let this happen! Stop taking pictures and save my life! Now! Help me! I am going home! Stop! Stop! I will not! I have done nothing wrong!
That our community members are responsible for the vitriol in our streets. I'm done being told that our local elected officials are solely responsible for turning down the temperature. Just yesterday, we saw 15,000 people peacefully protesting in the streets, speaking out, standing up for their neighbors. Not a single broken window, not a single injury. Those peaceful protests embody the very principles that both Minneapolis and America was founded upon. Conversely, the mass militarized force and unidentified agents who are occupying our streets, that is what weakens our country. That is what erodes trust in both law enforcement and in democracy itself. So to everyone listening, stand with Minneapolis. Stand up for America. Recognize that your children will ask you what side you were on. Your grandchildren will ask you what you did to act to prevent this from happening again. To make sure that the foundational elements of our democracy were rock solid. What did you do to protect your city? What did you do to protect your nation? This is not what America is about.
This pattern did not stop with Alex Pretti. Matthew James Obadiah Allen was tackled in the street, pleading that he was an American citizen, crying, begging, saying he did nothing wrong, even calling out to the onlookers who were filming with the media press crew, asking them to assist him because they were trying to kill him. Another man was shot in the leg during federal operations. Agents are heard on video joking and saying, quote, "This is just like Call of Duty," end quote. One agent was seen in this incident with Alex Pretti literally clapping and cheering as Alex Pretti was killed. This is not a few bad actors. This is a culture of dehumanization, inhumane, and vile, deplorable treatment. A national pattern. Minneapolis has had 3 homicides this year. 2 of those homicides involve federal agents. Across the country, American citizens have been killed during aggressive enforcement operations, including Keith Porter Jr. in Los Angeles over New Year's. These deaths are not making America safer. They're traumatizing communities and eroding trust in government altogether. It was the deadliest year in the history of ICE since it was founded in 2003. And there is no reason for any of this. Political coercion and democracy. Now, Pam Bondi is demanding Minnesota voter rolls, threatening letters, political pressure on Governor Tim Walz, saying they need into the voter rolls. This is not about immigration. This is about punishing cities that did not vote overwhelmingly for Trump and intimidating voters ahead of future elections. That is un-American. That is authoritarian. When the state uses fear instead of law, it has lost legitimacy. That is state-sanctioned terrorism. Final call to action. Alex Pretti was a nurse. The people who killed him want you silent. Don't give them that victory. Film, document, protest peacefully, demand accountability. ICE must be removed from Minneapolis. Independent investigations must happen now. Democracy does not survive silence. Silence is complicity, and Republicans have blood on their hands. Once again, I want to thank you for supporting my channel. Please like this video if you haven't yet, and please subscribe to my podcast where we shine light on topics that matter most and advocate for civil rights, equality, democracy, and freedom. Once again, subscribe to Exposed News Outlet at Drea 2024 on YouTube. Be sure to share this video on your platforms so we can get the facts out to the masses. Archive the truth. These facts matter. And also, please, if you haven't yet, follow us on Facebook as well at Exposed News Outlet with Drea. I will link the links in my description box below so we can organize and peacefully bring in a better tomorrow. We need major reforms, clearly. Thank you for watching. Be safe out there, and as always, be kind to yourselves and be kind to others. Thank you.